that's Donald Trump climbing to his highest poll number yet. A brand new CNN poll showing 32% of GOP voters support the billionaire businessman. And that is not all. Trump is now the first Republican candidate to break that 30% mark. Donald's lead growing by 8% from the last month. The next closest candidate, retired neurosurgeon Dr. Ben Carson at 19%. This poll showing once again Americans are looking for an outsider to take the White House. Former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich goes on the record. Nice to see you, sir.
Great to be back.
Can you explain this? He can say the worst awful things about women. Awful things. And in the last month, and his poll numbers with the women went up 13 points.
Well, first of all, I think that the political class hears these things much more intensely than the average American. I mean, the average American's not paying attention in great detail. And I think people are prepared to discount, to a certain extent, Donald Trump being Donald Trump and say, well, you know, there are times Donald Trump is a jerk. Okay. But
it's sort of like what did he say today, basically?
Yeah. Now, I think that he's in danger because I do think gradually he's shifting over from this very unusual billionaire who you can't quite imagine as a candidate to a potential president. And I think the standard becomes very different. And he's going to have to learn to be more disciplined because it's no longer funny, you know.
But is this sort of the new political dialogue? Because even on the other side of the aisle, Senator Harry Reid in April called the entire GOP contenders for 2016 as losers, which was a word, of course, Donald Trump. But I mean, like, there are lots of insults flying back and forth.
Well, look, I think there's a general decay of political language in that sense. And I mean, you have the president comparing the Republicans to the terrorists in Iran and saying, you know, if you're not for my agreement, you're as bad as the terrorists in Iran. So a lot of that stuff going on. But Trump's different. I mean, Trump is an extraordinarily powerful force who every once in a while, it's almost like he can't help himself, says something which at best is dumb. I mean, the whole thing with Carly Fiorina.
How can it be dumb with his numbers going up? See, that's the thing that I look at these numbers. I mean, 13 points up. If any of the rest of us said it, we'd be out.
No,
we'd be out. We'd be gone.
But there are two big things happening with Trump. One is, to a degree we have never seen anybody do. He has mastered the media. You just saw it on your show a few minutes ago. Here's this guy who sits somewhere, picks up the phone, and he's on national television for an extended period of time, decides he'll call into The View, did 3 Sunday morning shows in one Sunday. I mean, you know, tweets things that promptly get picked up because he's now conditioned the media that if he does it, they're going to pick it up.
Well, but I think a lot of people really appreciate, whether you agree with Trump or not, or whether you're deeply offended or not by his statements, is that I think there's a strong appreciation for the fact that he says exactly what he thinks. He's not reading off a teleprompter. He's not listening to consultants. And, you know, he just lays it all out.
Look, I have a great friend in Atlanta, Raina Casey, who's a great businesswoman, very strong activist. I called one evening and she said she now has her Make America Great hat. And I said, what? And she said, I just like the raw courage. She said, having a guy with the guts to say it like it is means so much to me after all the stuff we've been through that I'll tolerate him occasionally being stupid in order to get him to be this courageous and this blunt.
Mr. Speaker, always nice to see you, sir.
Good to see you.